I'm not holding on. Okay. So it's been a minute. Life threw us a few curveballs, the kind that knock the wind out of you, make you step back, regroup, and remind you that sometimes the real world doesn't follow a tidy plot line. So we took a pause, a necessary one, but we're back. And today's episode is a little different. Usually our conversations happen late at night during the PJ party when the drinks are poured, the chaos is flowing, and the stories wander wherever they want to go. But today we're recording in the morning. This is the after the PJ party, and we're a little reflective, maybe a little more unhinged, and ready to dive into something that doesn't get talked about nearly enough, in our opinion. Because we spend so much time chasing the happily ever after. The grand confession, the slow burn, the obsession, the moment everything finally clicks into place. But what happens after that? What happens when the chase is over? When the story says the end and ties everything up in a pretty little bow? Does the bow stay in place? Or does life do what life does and get messy? Today, we're talking about what happens after the happily ever after the butterflies settle, after the passion finds its rhythm, when real life shows up with bills, baggage, bad moods, and the complicated work of loving someone anyway. Because stories don't really end at the end, and neither do we. But before we get into it, a quick note: listener discretion is advised. This podcast may contain graphic content, triggering themes, adult language, and unapologetic book spoilers. We don't hold back because real stories are gritty, raw, and worth telling. Also, your mental health matters. There is no shame in seeking help, support, or stepping away when you need to. This is Slow Burn, where we go deep, move slow, and let the fire speak. So, hey, welcome back. Glad to be here. It's been a really hot minute. So, here we
Yay, we're
are.
back.
We're back. I do believe that Wellesley, the dog, for all of you who don't know, is super excited about this new recording option as she's cuddled up under the blanket, just like living her best life here, because typically she's shunned
She's
out
in your
of the room and
face.
yelled at for barking or chewing on my sweater or at my feet, like very
Yeah.
upset. But
Mornings are
life,
her sweet spot.
yeah, right? It
Yeah.
really is. Like, she is like,
Nights, not so
this is
much.
it, mom. Like, why do we not always like fuck this PJ party? Like, I'm
Yeah.
down for coffee and quiet. Like, what's happening?
So she's in it now.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So life threw some curveballs, guys.
Yeah, it
Like,
did. I'm
also
glad
I'm
we're
getting over
back.
the flu. I'm getting over the flu. So I hope everybody really likes this new like dust dusky voice or whatever you want to call this lovely thing that I have going on that comes and goes. I was trying not to cough through it all.
I
But yeah,
feel
like
like most America is getting over the flu COVID right now. I think we're in good company.
I
So,
feel like I've heard it's like flu A, B, C, D, E. I don't know, is the whole
yeah,
alphabet out right
through
now?
Z.
So I'm here
Yeah,
for it. I'm here for it.
you're
So
good.
I mean,
It's your sexy
my
phlegm voice. Wasn't that from Friends or something like that? Like
I
with
have no
Phoebe,
idea.
do you remember?
No, no, I'm not like a big TV watcher. Like,
I
I'm not like a pop culture person. I'm like, my
I
nerd
don't
girl is really coming out right now because I have absolutely no idea. Do I know
I'm
what
just a
Friends is?
Friends
Yes.
nerd.
Have I seen episodes? Yes. Like, if somebody mentioned the whole pivot thing, yes, I could know. Like the turkey
There's
dance
a
on the head, yes.
Yeah.
Like,
There was a
but
sexy phlegm voice, and she, like, I think had a Phoebe was a guitar player, and she's like, "I have so many people coming to listen to me." It's the same thing with you right now. It's just your sexy phlegm
I
voice.
like it. I like it. It's good. So, for all of you, like, who don't know, life in singlehood is super awesome, and, we have talked through Instagram with another wonderful podcast whose name escapes me at the moment, and the lips are their, logo, and I can't think of it right now, but they're super cool ladies,
Oh, yeah.
super great. And we have talked about like dating disasters, like through like online dating and Tinder and whatever else. And so
All the
recently
things.
someone tried to FaceTime me and I was like, and I ignored it. So they tried like a second time and I finally had to say, "Excuse me, sir. If I answer this, you are gonna watch me neti pot snot out of my face." And I really don't feel like that is the impression that
I
you're
don't know.
going for at the
What a kink
moment,
to have.
right? I mean, maybe.
Like,
Maybe. Like we talk about kinks all the time,
yeah.
right? So like maybe that is one that has not been delved into. Like maybe does
Could you
that fall
imagine?
into like that blood play or that like I don't really know where that falls into, right? Like
I don't know either. Maybe it's like falls under that like getting peed on thing, but with snot.
right. So
I
it's
don't know.
not like my mom's like a listener and she has now turned this episode off because the one thing that grosses her out more than anything is snot. Like she can't handle it. She can't like the sound, the talking about it, like all
Yeah,
of it. We
it's
have
just
now
all
lost
of
a
it.
listener for life because we've
Oh,
talked about snot.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Probably more than one. It's probably more than my mom. So we warned you, listener discretion advised. We
That's
get
right. There
graphic.
was.
We get graphic. It wasn't even about sex this time. It was just about snot. Like, um,
Oh
also
God.
because my mother is so loving, she like got in my car yesterday and she's like, "You sound like shit." And I was like, "Thanks." She goes, "But you look great." And I was like, also, thank you. I do not look great right now, but also I just woke up not long ago and I'm only sporting like my second cup of coffee instead of like my second
Yeah.
pot of
Same.
coffee for the day.
Same.
Also, I've had like multiple like
That's
meaningful
hilarious.
conversations through text message this morning, which is way too early for my brain to brain like that.
Have you processed those conversations? Because I feel like I'm just waking up right now with this next sip of
No.
coffee.
Like
Like
I feel like we have had so many deep conversations in the last like 3
72
months,
hours? Oh, I just even feel like in the last 3 days, but yes, in the
right?
last and
I feel
yes,
like
since
3 is, like, a big number right now if anybody follows our Instagram,
yes.
like, it was, like, the 3 of swords and the 3 of wands, and
Yes.
all the 3s have, like, been popping up in my life lately for me personally, but, like, there's just so
Yeah.
much with the 3s, but yeah, 3
Yeah.
months, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 hours, it's a lot,
It's been a lot,
it's been a lot, but,
and we'll get deeper into it all soon enough.
yeah, so life threw some curveballs, not some great ones,
Yeah,
some
heavy hitters for sure.
some heavy hitters
Look at us be with
financially.
baseball terms. I don't even know
Look,
baseball, but it
look,
is baseball season, and we are doing great on
what?
these terms.
Also I found out, hey, Jillian Arley, where are you now? I found out that that hat trick is in all sports,
All sports.
not just hockey. Um, so hey, I learned something new.
I love
Um,
that.
I feel like it was just this week.
Yeah,
Which
this
is
was a long week.
it really was. So please, all the people who judged me in the last episode, continue to judge me. I'm fine with it. I'm also a judgy bitch. It's okay. I just do it silently. I think it's silent, but it's not because my face does
I
things
was about to say,
like
if someone saw your face, they might
but
know where you stand. Although sometimes you have a great poker face. You have
but
a
sometimes
great poker
it's
face.
also like just my face, right? Like it's just my
Yes,
like
yes.
I just like somebody said something to me once and they're like, "Why aren't you excited?" I'm like, I am excited. I'm like,
I'm
this
so
is
excited.
just my face. Like I can't do anything about my face. I'm really sorry. Like this is just my all the
Don't
time
take it
face.
personally, just love
Like,
it.
don't. Please. Like somebody asked me the other day why I act like they're a thorn in my side. And I'm like, I don't act like anything. Like you're kind of
Right.
irrelevant to me. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Like, I'm really sorry. I greet you the same way I greet everybody. Obviously, that's a problem. If you feel like it
No, I
makes you
always
feel
tell them,
like,
"I'm sorry you feel that way. That's something you should address."
right? Like, my apologies. My apologies. I'm just a miserable cow all
You are
around,
not.
evidently. Um,
Lies.
but I'm also just an absolute delight sometimes. But
Mhm. Every day.
so about that, like life is just ultimately sucked as life
Yeah.
does sometimes. So, like financially, work
Yep.
through some really heavy hitters
Yep.
here lately, some contemplative choices coming on. Um,
Yeah.
Lots of forks in the road.
Yep.
Uh
Divorce.
Definitely
Hey.
divorce. Not a straight line path.
No. No.
Adventures in online dating. Really need to find that other podcast name. I gotta look in our messages while
I
we're
was
talking.
just searching and I
Um,
wasn't doing a good job. I can't talk and
you don't
type.
multitask well.
I am not a good multitasker. Not
I
at
also
all.
know what their logo looks like, so I'll find it pretty quickly as I
Okay.
scroll. Tongue in cheek podcast.
Tongue
There
in
they are.
cheek. Okay.
Tongue in cheek podcast. Super, super cool group of chicks. Also delve into the smut world, right? If you like smut, they are three ladies that discuss all things smut.
Yeah.
They talk weekly. They're so much cooler than we are. I would love to know how they balance their calendar because please come balance mine. I will hire your
Calendar
PA to
balance.
be my PA. I don't have any money, but I will bake them cookies or something.
I'll pay them in
However,
compliments.
yeah, I might actually smile for them too. Is that a thing? They say you're much prettier when you smile. Uh, so yeah, so life got gritty. So with that though, that brought a lot of introspection, right?
Yeah.
With things changing and this feeling of impending things coming.
Yeah.
Watching this Midwestern weather go from winter to fake spring number one, two, three, and four back to I think we have a possible ice storm tonight as it
We
started
do.
out at
Yep.
60 degrees this morning and it's now like
And
30 and feels like -2 or some shit
yeah.
in like 2 hours. So as we were like talking about that, right? Like it was looking at that in some of our deep conversations, right? Where
Mhm.
like for me, I'm such a dark romance trope person, right?
Right.
I love the villain. I love the morally gray. I love the man who will absolutely burn the whole fucking world down for you. And the
Right.
one that is so absolutely obsessed with this devotion and
Right.
they end up destroying everything for each other, including each other, right?
Right.
Like, and I just, as we've been sitting here talking and watching our worlds fall apart around us at our feet, like, it just came up to like, what happens when it's done? Like, what happens when the chase
Afterwards.
is done? Right?
Yeah.
Like, because I've noticed in all of my like lovely world of online dating that
Mhm.
I'm really afraid to pull the trigger sometimes and actually accept the date because tracking, right? Like
That's where it
once you
ends.
that's where it's done, right? Like
That's
once the
yes.
chase is over,
Yeah.
like
Like,
once they've gotten past that like will they won't they, like that's
right.
it. The conversation ends or like
Right.
they
The
ghost
dynamic
or
changes.
it just kind of peters off. Like I know that people say that, like, ghosting is, like, the big thing right now, and I don't even necessarily think it's, like, a ghosting on purpose. I think you just naturally, like, stop talking because there's
You're like,
nothing
nothing.
left to talk
There's
about,
no
right?
connection. I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
have you ghosted anybody?
I I feel like yes, but at the same time, I don't feel like on purpose,
Right.
right? Like, it was one of those, like, they'll message me in the middle of my workday, which is constant chaos
Chaos.
and,
Yeah. And
my circus, my
distraction and
monkeys, right?
yeah.
And then it'll be like, I'm one of those people who answers in my head and think that
Same.
I answer in real life, and then I'll, like, come back to it, and I'll be like, "Oh, fuck." Like,
Right.
Did I respond to that? Or I'll respond to the wrong person, hence sending our boss a selfie last night instead of our author friend in Arizona.
And
So,
may she
like,
be blessed for having that
may she
selfie
be
of us.
blessed, right?
Like, just that positivity in her life.
Correct. She was a good sport about it. She
She
was
really
ready to go
was.
dancing. She was fine. But, like, again, like, I feel like I'm always so all over the place, again, taking applications for a free PA.
Yeah,
However, like,
right.
I because my brain is on overdrive, and whether it's because I'm a Gemini or because my ADHD is just unchecked or
Or
because it's
all
just
of
who
the
I am
above.
naturally, right?
Right.
It it is definitely difficult for me, right? And so
Yeah.
I think I have ghosted on some people, right? And then I'm also just one of those people, and I try to explain ahead of time, and it's also like my friends are super used to it about me, but
Yeah,
then
you
people
just
who don't know me, like I try
right.
to, give the preface. I can just go internal and off the grid
Yeah.
for weeks or months at a time. Like
Right, to reset.
I
I feel like it's a
I'll
reset.
just disappear.
Yeah,
And then one day I'll just come back like nothing happened and talk to you like we talked
right.
yesterday and just pick up and like rejoin the world and everything will be fine.
Yeah,
And like my
same.
friends are so used to that, like they don't question it anymore,
Right.
right? But
It's normal.
when you're trying to date, right? And hear me say the word date. Like I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship, but like adult companionship to go out every so often and
Yeah.
have adult conversation and not just talk to my dog. Yeah, like
Yeah, and I
or
think
my
that we can
girlfriends
revisit
or
it, but that
yeah,
companionship piece is really important. But we'll come back to it because I think that anyway, we'll come back because I think you're right. I think you're hitting something
yeah.
past the
So
divorce, past the happily ever after, past
right,
the like, let's define that. But go ahead. Sorry.
right. So like I think that's, like, the hard part, though, right?
Yeah.
Because then I'm sure it does give the impression of ghosting, where in my brain, I'm just, like, resetting, right?
Right.
And I, like, set my phone down, and my phone automatically goes on, like, do not disturb at 8 p.m. every night, like, it's just a setting it does on its
Same.
own, and
Yeah.
then in my previous house, before I moved over the summer, it goes on, like, a personal uh, focus setting, right? So
Right.
every time we drive by my son's house, my phone will automatically go into a personal setting when we drive by because it just my phone automatically put it in that because
Right.
of when I was home and like adjusted itself to like, oh, you're home. Like let's
Get it
adjust
in
what's
that
happening
mode.
on your phone because, our phones are creepy. And as much as I do love AI as
Super
for
creepy.
like helping me write
Yeah.
things for work, like, emails and stuff like that, and I know that it is very
Editing and all
controversial
that.
in the book world
Yeah,
and
but
in the art
let's
world,
define
and
how it's used. I feel like it's a really nice, like, quick edit to what you've already written. Like, let's
I think
just
it should be used as a tool. I do not think it
yes.
should be
N
used as a replacement,
correct.
like,
It
let
is
me be clear.
for
I'm also
ideas
not
and shit like
arty.
that, right?
I'm also not arty, so I will use it to create, like, graphics and things for me or to help me with, like, slideshows when I'm too lazy to create them for the college or whatever, and that's me, and I'm just lazy, but
Yeah.
I'm also just not arty, and I can't draw a straight line with a ruler, so, again, um one of these days, I will have endless funds to pay all the indie artists in the world to
Right?
create all my art for me, and I would love that.
'Cause they're
But
brilliant. Yeah, for sure. I'm the same way. I
but
can't
but from
I
my
could draw a
squirrel I
heart.
saw, right? So from the squirrel I saw, as we were, like, diving into this, right? We were just
Yeah.
talking, like, what happens like, we love the romance novels, we love the feelings they give, we love the chase and that feeling of what happens. But then, like, what happens when you close the book 5 years later, 10 years later, when all those messy parts come up? Because in a lot of our books,
Yeah.
they're messy, right? And
Yes.
there's and for me, there's so much toxic mess, right? Like,
Yeah.
and so many of them, it almost seems like for me, like the girl just kind of like gives in, right?
Right.
Like, okay, like you really do love me that much. I could see myself loving you
Mm.
and then loving you. And it is a genuine love. I really feel like it
Yeah.
is, right? On both sides. It just takes
Yeah.
the girl longer, typically, or because I typically read where the guy falls first, and it's like a
Yeah.
weird obsessive, like they walk
And
by them kind of thing. Like,
I think that that's an interesting point too, though, because I've been thinking about that lately. It's like the guy who becomes obsessed. I mean, I think I've only read one book where the girl first becomes obsessed, but the guy becomes like, you know, you know, obsessed about her being a possession for him.
mhm.
And then I think that that's really interesting, right? Like, and then the girl, like you just said, caves or not caves, maybe, but like caves. And
She caves.
she
Like,
caves,
let's
right?
just be real. She caves.
Yeah, because, like, I mean,
There's
I
no
think
other way to say it. Like, she just
yeah,
gives in and she's like, fine, fuck it.
right, and then
Like, you're
there's this
hot. You've got
reclaiming.
abs. Like,
Yes, but then right, like, then there's this, like, reclaiming for the girl. Like, I think about, the Plated Prisoner series, right? Like, first she gives in, right? She gets claimed or she gives into the obsession of Midas, and
mhm.
then I think about how she has to reclaim herself and then has another guy who becomes obsessed with her, right? And but then she's like, "But this isn't like but I got things to do, so either join me for my journey or don't," right? Like, burn the world down with me because 'cause I'm doing it for myself. I
Mhm.
don't know. So I think, like, that whole process is very interesting to, like, what books we get drawn into, right?
But I
Like
also think it's a different type of obsession. Like, you have
mhm.
2 different characters, right?
Yes.
Like, and I feel like your true morally gray, morally black character, right? Which
Yeah.
I feel like Midas was not. Like, he was just a true
No.
narcissist, right?
Right.
Like, he's not,
Right.
he was just awful, right? Like, he
Correct.
didn't fall into that morally gray, morally black character that we
Right.
all like
Y
grow to love, right? Because I think what the appeal of that man is, right, is it's not always so much that like, yes, there's that touch her and die, and there's that possession, and there's that jealousy, and I mean, who doesn't want to be wanted
right.
that fucking much by someone, right?
Yeah.
That the mere thought of someone else touching them makes you murderous, right? Like,
Right.
I would love to be wanted that much. I mean, thinking of past relationships where I've, like, been cheated on or, whatever else, obviously, I
Right.
wasn't wanted in that capacity, right? So, of course, like, the idea of that kind of want is attractive in my brain, but then at the same time, they also have this whole and I always go back to the book, Hooked, and I have to look up the author. Super good book. I listened to it audio on a road trip, and it's a whole series of, uh
It is.
Uh, what do you
Is it
wanna
Emily
call it?
McIntyre?
Yes,
Okay.
Emily McIntyre.
Okay.
But she does a whole series of those kind of, like, twisted fairy tales,
Okay.
because
I
she has,
haven't
like,
read any of her
Scarred.
works yet.
So she has Scars or
Uh-huh.
Scarred about, like, basically Scar, right? Um, and then she has Wretched. I think I'm saying that right.
Yes. Yeah.
Which would be like a take on the Wizard of Oz. And then we have Twisted, which would then be a take on Aladdin. Fractured fairy tales, that's what they call them.
Yeah.
And then you have Crossed, which is Hunchback of Notre Dame. So also it's not like your mainstream fairy tales that happen a lot, right? Because Hooked is
Right.
Peter Pan. Um,
Yeah, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like, right?
yeah,
That's not a
that's
main
not a common one. Like,
it's
you
not like
get a lot of,
Cinderella.
like, Sleeping Beauty,
Right.
um,
Beauty and the Beast, right?
Beauty and
That's
the
a
Beast. Peter Pan is
huge.
done quite often, but, like
Yeah.
but anyways, but in it, there's always this, like, quote that stands out, right? Like, because Hook is Hook, right?
Right.
Regardless, like, he's
Right.
never gonna be
He's not a good guy.
the hero.
Right.
Right? Like, he's never
Right.
gonna be the hero regardless.
Yeah, he's
And
not
so at
Captain
one
America.
point, like, he tells
Right.
Wendy, right? Like, "If you want this, I'm gonna give it to you. If you want this, I'm gonna give it to you. If you want this, I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it to you. If you want the whole world to burn down." And she gets sassy and she's like, "What? You're gonna burn it down for me?" And he's like, "No, I'm gonna give you the matches and I'm gonna stand next to you and I'm gonna watch you be the queen of embers." Or
Yeah.
whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is what is so appealing about that morally gray man, right? Because
Right.
not only is he so obsessed with her and so protective of her and
Right.
so jealous and so all the things,
Oh, where
he
did you
also
go?
wants to give her her own power.
Right.
Right? Like, it is her power to do it. She has the power. She is the only one that can put him to his knees. She is the only one like,
Yeah.
I think of, like, Rhysand from, A Court of Thorns and Roses, where he
Yeah.
is like, "You are the only one that can get me to my knees, Farah." Like, you are like not that I think Rhysand is morally gray, like, he was actually a really redeeming,
Right.
wonderful character, like, he's a
Right. They make him
heart
out
of
to be at
gold.
first, and then he, like
Right, like, heart of gold. Sorry if we
right. It's like
spoiled
a
that for somebody.
tease.
Heart of
Yeah,
gold.
sorry.
Um, heart of gold. Great guy.
Right.
Really
But I
like
think
him.
of
I liked him
okay,
when they made him bad too. Like, I
right.
was always team
I would
Reese.
prefer him that way, stay that way, but even when he switches into
Right.
that role that's brief,
Oh,
right?
no, she froze, guys.
"I'm
She froze.
frozen.
It's really
Give me a
windy today in the
minute.
Midwest,
Give
so
me
her
a
internet is going in and
minute."
out.
Can you hear me now?
So we'll just
Gosh
pause,
darn it. Trying to
cut this part
reconnect.
out.
Oh, no. Arr. Come on. Sorry, the
Yep.
wind picked up and it just
Yeah,
you could hear it happen, the crescendo of what was about to be, so
yeah.
sorry.
No. No, I
But I
knew.
agree.
I was like, "Oh, she lost internet, guys. I'm just gonna hit stop and hope we can put this all together."
That's right. It
Um,
says, Winnie the Pooh said it's a blustery day.
um, but no, I feel like I never liked Tampon anyway from the beginning. I was really disappointed in him and never wanted him to
No, I
be
yeah.
the the main HEA. But
In
I
fact,
look at it.
looking back on that and then looking at my own personal story, I'm like, "Why couldn't I identify the patterns in those 2 individuals?" Right? Because that makes sense. Like, I could
Mhm.
see it in Tampon in the book, but why not in my own life? So, yeah, I like,
But I feel
gross.
like that happens a lot though. Like, we don't
Yes.
see it.
Yeah.
Um
Why does it take so long to see it?
Because I don't think we want to. I think, like, we want to have the happily ever after. Like, it's
Yeah.
so ingrained in our head as a kid.
Yeah.
Um,
But I
like
think that that's where we struggle in the happily ever after, and I'm not just speaking for myself, but I'm also gonna talk for my ex, like, the peace time, like,
right.
I feel like none of us are able that's a very generalized statement, but, like, I do feel like there's a great big group of people who, when they have peace in their life, it's not enough. So then they have to shake it up like a snow globe in order to, let everything settle to the ground. And I think that that's where like I think that that's where things go off the rails, right? I mean, look at it in our own society. I feel like, oh, we're in this peacetime, and then somebody's like, let's shake this shit up. I feel like it's the
But
same thing. Maybe as humans, we just don't do well with that.
But I think that that's where that goes with I have like this little, I have my notes here and it's what does happily ever after even mean once the adrenaline of the story is gone? Right?
Right.
And I think that's what you're touching on. Like that adrenaline is gone. So can the drive of dark romance or the obsession, right?
Right.
Not that real life is typically dark romance, but obsession still comes, right?
Right. Right.
Right,
No,
that
yes.
obsessive piece is still there. So can that realistically turn into a healthy relationship later?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if I have an answer for
I
that.
don't I don't know if I have an answer, because right now, in this moment for me, right, which always could change, right? I feel like that's just something that ebbs and flows. But I don't feel like it can. I don't know if it can. But I'm also seeking my own shit right now, right? Like,
Right.
and navigating through that something that's very new. So I think that in this moment, I feel like you constantly have to have some piece of chaos in order to continue to perpetuate forward in a relationship. And I think that that's kind of warped. Like, why can't we just live in the peace of the moment? Because I mean, I think the chaos was going to happen, but why do we have to create? I don't know. I don't know. It's just something like I agree that is in the forethought of my head in this happily ever after phase, which I don't know if that's possible.
But
Or is
also,
it
like,
something like, people talk about like that second marriage, right? The first marriage is this, and then you have the second marriage. I'm not saying I want a second marriage. Please hear me say that. But
right.
I think like that relationship, right? Like whatever that relationship looks like that is longer term after a divorce, like why is it so much more successful
Well, because I
than
think everything
what
is a learning
was?
experience, right? So you
Yeah.
learn from past mistakes or past and not that every previous marriage is a mistake. Like it's still a
Right.
learning experience. You could become friends with that person. There are
Right. A
people
lot
who grow
do.
apart. Like
Yes.
not everything is a trauma bond or a trauma story, right? Like
Right.
it's not that's not
Right.
it. But we also like take into account, right? I think our reading styles say a lot about what we look for subconsciously in a relationship, right? So,
Right.
like, I am a big dark romance person,
Right.
right? So my reading brain goes dark romance, obsession, that morally gray devotion, world
Right.
burning love, characters who would destroy everything for each other, instant love, right? Like they
Right.
walk by you and they're like, that's it. That's the girl I'm going to start stalking
Right.
today. Where your reader brain, you like that slow burn, the longing, those
Yes.
intimacy moments, that quiet intimacy, those
Yeah.
touches that, like, almost happen, the tension that builds until it finally breaks, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're here for, like, the long game, right?
Yes.
But they're different styles, right? The same goal, a love story that feels real enough to believe
Right.
in,
Right.
right? Like, you so real you wanna believe in it.
Right. That it could
So,
happen. Yes.
that it could happen, that it could
Or
happen.
parallels with something. Right.
Correct. So, so when you're looking at that, though, right?
Right.
As as a reader, do we actually want the messy parts of the relationships in our books? Do we want to see that after the happily ever after? Or do we want it tied up in a bow? Like I say all the time, like I love a happily ever after. I love to see them get together. But then
Yeah.
at the same time, sometimes as mad as it like makes me or pisses me off, like to get invested in something and be like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, he dies or they don't get
Yes.
together?" Or but sometimes I think that needs to happen. Like,
Right.
sometimes I think it's okay that the HEA isn't there. And
I
but
think
think people would read a story about couples navigating real life?
I don't know, potentially. I mean, I don't read a lot of, like, real-time stories, right? I'm more into the fantasy world, right? Which which isn't not something that carries over into real life, right? Like, I
Dragons
just
are
prefer
real. Vampires are real.
dragons
Stop it.
and magic, right? Like, it just
It's all
I
real.
just prefer that type of escape, right? But
We talked to
I
Samantha, and I told her vampires are real. So
yeah,
just stop.
I think right, absolutely, and werewolves, like, come on. But I think that, like, I think about, like, Penn Cole's Everflame, right? Like, she's been trying to put out this next book for God knows how long, and and just like what we were talking about, because it does, right, like, it is the slowest slow burn I have ever read, but like, then sh and I don't wanna no real spoilers here, but, like, the female main character ends up in a situation where you think to yourself as a reader, "Holy shit, where do you go from here? Nothing is ever gonna happen." This was they finally just got together, and now here we are, right? Like, and I feel like as a writer, she's probably kind of struggling with that happily ever after because there's no happily, right? So that's like where the book series ends. There's no happily. So I think that that's, I don't know, a really interesting
But
take.
as
So,
as a reader, just speaking for, we can speak for ourselves because we can't really speak for the masses. And I feel like if we started to, we would
no,
lose like the 5
we
listeners that we
spiraling,
have. And we already
spiraling
lost
downhill.
we lost our 6th listener at the beginning
Spe- yeah,
because we talked about phlegm.
right.
So,
Phlegm.
and if not, she's gone now. Uh, so are we addicted to the chase rather than the relationship itself?
Yeah. I think that for me, I don't know. I love the chase, but both sides, right? Like, I love to chase just as much to be chased.
Correct.
And
I
but
am a
then,
tease all day long. Like, I like
yeah,
to tease. I like to play
right.
the game. I like to be teased back,
I like
right?
banter. I like to be
Right.
challenged. I don't ever want that to be lost. I think that, like, even in most recent conversations with individuals or an individual, like, I don't want to be told it's okay, like, to "Oh, it's okay that you have to go do something." Yeah, damn right it's okay I have to do something, like, and, like, that's where things started to, like, "Well, I don't wanna have this conversation anymore." Right? Like, it starts so when does that obsession switch over to, like, this more of a possession, right? Don't give me permission to go do things. I don't want things rubbed in my face that, like, I have to come see you, right? Like, I have to come see you, or I drove all this way and this is all I get. Like, this token economy, like, fuck that. Like, and those are the things we don't see in the
Mhm.
books. Or if we do, we that's where we see the battle between each other, and then it gets better. But I
But
don't think in real life that that ever gets better.
But I think that's a good point too, though, because speaking to my most recent ex, right, there was a
Yeah.
conversation recently that he said something about like my favorite baseball team. And I said, "Oh, when I moved, I can't find what I did with my
Right.
baseball cap." Right. And it's here somewhere in this extra room of shit that I just threw all the stuff I didn't unpack, right? And
Right.
there's still stuff over at my son's house that hasn't come over yet, right? Like there's still a closet full of stuff that like my son's put in boxes and just put in a closet that eventually he'll drop
That
off
is
here
really
that I don't
sweet.
have room for. Right?
Yeah.
Like so I'm sure it's somewhere in there cuz I just bought it over the summer when C and I went on our road trip to New York, right? So
Right.
I it's here somewhere. Anyhow, so I said something about, "Oh, I didn't have that," because like, he was making fun of like, we were just having a conversation, friendly banter, like, we still get
Right.
along, like, no problems, and, he said, "Well, let me buy you a new one." And I said, I don't need you to buy me a new one. If I wanted a new one,
Right.
I would go order a new one. I want this one that I got while I was in Boston. Like, I want the
I
hat
just
that
want
I bought."
that one.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
because it had, like, all 4 teams on it for Boston, not just the
Right.
baseball team and whatever. So I wanted this specific hat that I couldn't find, and I was just, like, annoyed at myself about it in this conversation, and, he's not typically a Boston fan, but then, like, being with me, like, it just kind of, like, transversed into that, and he's like, "I have more Boston hats than you do." Like, and I was like,
Right.
"That is a true story. Like, you do have more Boston hats than I do, right?" And he was like, "So just let me send you one." And I was like, "No, thank you. Like, I just I don't need you to right now." Right? Like,
Right.
1, we're not together anymore, and I'm just really weird about gifts. Like, I'm a weird person. I'll give them all day long. I don't like
Same.
to receive them. I'm an awkward human.
No,
Really
I'm with
sorry
you
about
on
that.
that. But I
So
think it goes back to what normally comes with it.
right. So as the like so this really long, awkward story, sorry guys, is that like in the end, he was like, "No, you did so much for me, like the 5 years we were together. Like, I want to do this for you." And I stopped myself. I stopped him like mid conversation, and I was like, "I need you to stop." And he was like,
Yeah.
"What?" I was like, "You were my boyfriend. I did
Right.
things for you because you were my boyfriend, and I wanted to. This was not a quid pro quo kind of relationship. Like, this is
Right.
not like a I require payment because I helped you cut your dog nails, or because I helped you with a slideshow, or
Right.
because I helped you problem solve the fact that you were fighting with your sister, or
Right.
like, or because we got in a fight that you didn't tell me something. Like, I
Right. That's where the peace, right?
like
I
being in
don't
a
know.
relationship, I don't feel requires payment. Like, if I do
No.
something for you, but that's not the first man I've spoken to. So any male listeners that we do have, if that's something that you guys want to like chime in on, like email or on our socials,
Please.
right? Like,
Yeah.
please tell us, because over Christmas I had a male friend who was by himself. His kids were with the ex, right? And I said, "Hey, my family is like a more the merrier person. Like, please just come on over, have dinner." And he was like, "No, I can't because I don't have anything to give in return." And I was like, there's nothing you have to give.
Right.
Like, we have a lot
It's
of food,
Christmas.
just eat." And he was like, "No, I can't." And I was like, "Okay, well, I can just, if you're not comfortable being around people you don't know, if you want, I could just make you a box and drop it off." And he was like, "No, because I don't have anything to give you in return." And I was like, "Again, not a quid pro quo kind of thing. I'm
Right.
just giving you some ham." Like, I I don't understand.
Right. Sharing a plate, please. Like,
And I feel like last night, like when you bought dinner,
yeah.
it got awkward, and then the male we were with was like,
Now I have to pay
now I
for.
feel like I have to buy your entry into the
Right,
bar,
which
which was nice,
nice.
which was
Sure.
very
I
nice.
don't wanna
Like,
take that from him. But, like,
no,
it wasn't necessary. There was no expectation, and I think that that's where I'm finding in this male versus female, or I don't know, I mean, fill in whatever gender role you want. Like, there's this, like you said, like, "Oh, I did this, now you did this, now I need to do this." But there's no expectation, at least from us, at least from you
right.
and I.
So
Like,
are
I
we
don't
just
have an expectation,
so
right?
are we
Like,
just like the odd ones? Are there
I
more
don't
expectations
know.
out there? Like, are the guys that are
How
doing
are people
dating
programmed?
are
Right. Like,
like
I'm
what is
programmed because I learned at an early stage that if I wanted to do something, then I needed to be the one to do it. Period.
correct?
Period. So if I wanted to go out and have a good time with someone, be it my best friend, be it someone I had an interest in, then it's okay for me to be the one that sets up the plan, pays for the outing, and has a good time. Like, because there's no expectations of anything else. And if you're not having a good time, cool, peace. Like, go have a good time somewhere else. Like, but I'm gonna continue on this journey because I had set it up. So I think that that's like, where
Also,
does that go wrong in a programming for someone else?
right, being the fact that, my
Right.
child is grown now, but, like, as
Yeah.
struggling single mom for so long with other struggling single mom friends, it just got to the point that, like, our friend circle back then was, "Hey, I have the money this time, it's my turn, you catch it next time," and vice
Right.
versa, right?
Right.
Like, because we all go through these, like, ebbs and flows and slumps because
Right.
life throws you curveballs constantly. So it would just go into the like, hey, let's go grab something to eat. And if your friend was like, ooh, I don't have it this time. And I'm like, that's cool. It's my turn
Right.
anyway, or it's my treat this time anyhow. And then the next time we went, it was just even if I did have the money or whatever, it was like, then my friend was like, no, no, it's my turn this time. Right. Like, and it
Right.
wasn't something we kept track of. I could have paid for it
No.
3 times in a row. Right. Like
Right.
that's not the piece of it, right? Like, it's
Right.
just every so often we just switch turns and I'm like, "No, I got the bill this time." Right? Like, it's just
Right.
and it's not a thought, and it's not an expectation, and it's
Nope.
not a like, I could pay for it every single time and not sit here and be like, "Oh my god, is Stephanie ever going to pay the bill?"
Right.
Or, like, that's
Right.
never a thought process, right? Like, that's
Right.
never in my head, and, like, it's the same thing at work too. Like, I buy personal things for my job. It's my choice, it's what I
Right.
wanna do. One of it is
I
because I'm
need it.
too lazy to put in a requisition and wait
Right.
for it.
And
Like,
yeah,
I want it,
lack
I want it.
patience.
I am an instant gratification person, and I
Yes.
blame online shopping for that, right? Like,
Yeah.
and 2-day shipping. Like, I am like, "I want it. I can have it in an hour. I'm just gonna order it."
Right.
And I'm also, like, an impulsive person. I'm working on that, but, like, I also find that shopping is probably a mental health problem at this point. But
Eh,
I also, like, that is a me choice. And I get people who work with me and they're like, "Oh my god, like, do you have to do that? Do they pay you back for that? Like, you shouldn't have to do that." And I'm like, "No one is requiring me to do anything. I decided that I wanted to do this, and so
right.
I did it." Like, please hear me say that when I make a decision, as we spoke last night about, like, whether it's the Gemini in me, whether it's the fact that I'm just a stubborn asshole, whether it's
Right.
like ingrained in me because like I'm just super fucking independent and have like I don't know if I just have something to prove or what it is, right? Like once I make a decision, I'm going to fucking do it. So if
Right.
I make the decision that something's going to happen at work and I don't feel like waiting for it, then something's going to happen at work. And if
Right.
it comes out of my pocket, then it comes out of my pocket.
But it's a you choice. Exactly. Because
Correct.
you want, yes. There's no
And I
expectation.
like doing things for
Yes.
other people.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and it's just me. Like that is I mean, we talk about like love languages, right? From people doing stuff to
Right.
for us or whatever. But I feel like my love language, right, is what makes me feel best is doing stuff for other people. It's
Mhm.
not anything happening to me. Like, we already
Right.
know I don't like to be touched. We already know I feel awkward when I get, like, words of affirmation or
Right.
gifts or I'm an odd duck, guys. Like, it's fine. Don't make eye contact, don't talk to me, and then I'm gonna be like, "I go
And
to the
don't
bar
ever
and
take it
nobody
personally.
approaches me, and I don't
Yes.
understand why." Uh, I'm just not dateable.
That's not
But
true at all.
but I do say those things. I'm just a really awkward human and probably on the spectrum somewhere, and I'm okay with that. But
That's okay.
I feel like we all kind of that's a whole nother episode. But
Yeah, totally a whole but yes.
also representation in books is so awesome now. I'm so glad to see that diversity there now, but that's also
Yeah.
another episode. But talking about those things, right? I think my love language is people allowing me to do those things for them. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's probably taken a year for me to get Steph not to sit here and be like, I'm going to Venmo you back for that. And I'm like, and I'll cut you in your sleep. Like, cause I don't need you to
Yeah,
Venmo me back for the
that's the
fact that I
true.
brought pizza over for dinner, right? Like,
Or
cause
she
I
blocks
wanted
me and I
to.
can't even when I don't
Correct.
say it, and I'm like, "Gosh, why didn't this go through?" "Oh, that's why."
Yeah. You're not allowed to Venmo me anymore. Wah, wah. No, I don't take Apple Pay. Like,
Right,
it's just
I won't even answer that question.
right? I don't know. Um, no, we are not sponsored by Apple. Sorry, I'm not gonna.
No, or Venmo.
We're not.
Order if you want to.
Yeah, we will take all the sponsorships, all of them. Um, but going back to our, I'm sorry, you guys. We are maybe mornings are not it. Like we have
I
talked
like
about
it. Here we are
absolutely nothing
spiraling.
today. I'm really sorry, guys, if you cannot keep up with this, and we have now
The
lost
coffee's hitting.
every listener. If they thought our live episode was a comedy of errors, I feel like just this one in general, as we talk about I don't have we even talked about a book?
No,
So
we have totally. But we are spiraling.
we're not following the notes. I have notes. Like my notes here say like which fictional couples would not survive 5 years after the book closes. Which romance hero would be an absolute nightmare to live with once the obsession ended? Which book boyfriend seems perfect until you imagine him doing normal things like laundry or paying bills? Like I feel
I
I
right.
feel like I have like
Just
real
on that
things to
note,
talk about. Um,
I just feel like we should make so much more money in our lives. So when it does come to laundry and cleaning, we could totally have someone help us in that area.
I
Because I
already
feel
said
like
free
life would be
PA. We're
better.
looking for free PA.
I feel like maybe our relationships would be better too.
Also, did I mention I have a shopping problem? I have I have enough clothes that I could probably not do laundry for 2 months and still not wear the same thing twice. So, please know that it is a problem, and I think admitting that it's a problem is the first step.
I'm throwing away all socks and starting over because I'm not matching them. And one
Also
full basket worth is not okay.
also, if anybody thinks that they're my size and would like clothing, please feel free to come shop in my closet. I won't even charge you. Just take what you want. I probably won't even notice.
Give her a
Like,
reason to buy another outfit.
also that. Also that. Also, I have like a t-shirt press and I got crazy one day and had like a whole box of just
Yeah.
random shirts and sweatshirts because I just felt like it. So also, if you're in the mood for one of those, we'll pass those out like candy. So,
Oh.
yeah, but back to like our, chaos. I just back to it though, like looking at that obsession piece, right? That
Yeah.
I lean towards, right? And that I don't even know if I find it romantic as much as I just find it appealing, right?
Right.
But my note here says, like, when does it stop being romantic and start being concerning? I don't think it's ever not concerning. I need to be very clear with that. I thought Edward Cullen was concerning.
Right.
I thought Jacob was concerning. I didn't think either one of them were healthy for Bella if you want to go way back to like poor writing, right? Like,
So is
I
there
didn't
I
think
guess that is a whole nother conversation or a whole nother question, like, is there a healthy relationship? Or is it
I didn't
just
think
healthy
Christian
by
Grey was healthy. Like,
no,
and it
although
had nothing
but
to do with his red room. Like, it had nothing
no.
to do with his red room. It had everything to do with the way he treated her was unhealthy.
Yes. Yeah, like, taking away the choice.
Right.
Maybe that's it. Or
And
like we
so
just talked about that quick pro quo, right? Like, you made a choice, but this is your option when you make the choice. Like those elementary choice books we used to read. Turn to page 82 if you want to climb
That's what
the
we did
tree.
last night. Like,
Yes,
we were
we
just like, "You
did.
know what?" We were like, "Hey, we're on this. You know what? Let's flip to page 37 and do
That's
something
right.
totally
See what
random."
happens.
Turned out fine. By the
But
way, we
but
all
is
lived
that
each other
healthy?
down.
Right?
No,
Like, I don't
absolutely the
I
fuck not.
then is
And
anything
if my
healthy?
mom ever find out the things that we have done in the last 20 years, now she can't say much. She can't say much because I have heard the stories about the things that she has done out in fields long before the times of
Yes.
cell phones. Like, our parents
Right?
act so like, I can't believe you did those things. Honestly, let's talk about the things our parents did as children when they were misguided youth. I feel like maybe the only
Oh, no, you
exception would be
froze.
your
It's
mom.
me. Oh, you're moving again.
Okay. I feel like the only
Okay.
exception would be your mom's stuff. I don't know if your mom was ever misguided youth. Outside of that.
I mean, she was part of that culture of the Vietnam era and, the sexual revolution, and, I mean, I think that absolutely she was part of those times of, like, being on the revolutionary side, but then I think, right, this goes back into, like, something that I guess I could identify with a little bit more, is then she had kids, and how did that change everything in her happily ever after? I mean, they got married. My mom and dad got married when my dad did his final master jump in the army, right? Like, and they were both in matching leather suits. Like, my mom had on those boots that covered the ankle. I mean, she was a hot ticket. And like, but then children came into play and that changed everything. But I feel like in my own relationship, as I'm navigating these new waters, children change everything. I became a different person. So what does that mean? Like, is it always the woman who becomes the different person? Even in situations where the woman walks away from the marriage and the kids, right? Why? Why?
Because I
Why does
think
that happen? Societal
sometimes
pressure.
I think sorry, I just needed everybody to see Wellesley, how happy she is with
Oh,
this
she
whole
is
new
so
setup.
happy.
She's like, "Hey, everybody." Okay. So I
And then
think because
religion, and I'm not dogging religion-ish, kinda, but I feel like, I don't know, because 'cause I've been thinking about that lately.
I think honestly, right? This is gonna be like a 4-hour episode. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when we take a hiatus.
And
We're gonna have to
life
turn this
and
into
life
like
wrecks us.
okay, see, this is what happens. Now Elsie's too comfortable, guys. For
Wellesley's got it.
anybody not watching the video, she is now legs on my throat, like getting real, just like real at it. The dog is always a problem. Every
Excited.
episode, something happens.
She's
She's not even
excited.
excited. She's just like getting comfortable to
She's
take
just
a nap
lovey-dovey.
on my computer. I think I think there's always something that changes. So,
Yeah,
right? Like, so whether or not it is the obsession changing, right? Whether you're looking at your slow burn and then all of a sudden the tension is gone,
yeah,
whether the chase is over and you've been caught, like, where, like, what happens,
right,
right? Like, how do you keep it where the intimacy survives? And at what point do you acknowledge the fact that intimacy is different for every person?
mm,
That
right,
definition of intimacy is different. Um, that what we all want is different, right? Just like having these conversations the last couple months as like we're navigating all of these pieces of life that have
right,
occurred, right? And just like the conversations like you and I have had, and you were like, well, I didn't have this, and I didn't have this, and I didn't have this, and that's what I wanted. And then, my retort being, well, that's like not my definition. Like, I wouldn't have
Right.
done any of that. Right? Like, and not saying right or wrong.
Right. But that
However,
communication piece,
right.
right? And, like, maybe that's I don't know. Maybe that's the piece that I think gets lost, and then not choosing each other on purpose, right? And that can look 100 different ways. And then I am not someone who stays emotionally open after trust has been broken, right? Period.
You're not emotionally open before trust is broken. Don't lie to fucking
No, you have
people.
to prove
Like,
yourself, but maybe that goes hand in hand with, like, the chase, right? Like, you have to prove to me that you're worth it. 'Cause like
right. But then there's that whole thing. Why is it trials and tribulations? Right? Like, I feel
yeah,
like
but
there's
there's no blind
always
trust.
some kind of thing. But why don't we? Why don't we blind trust? Like, at what
I don't
point
'cause we're
did we put
humans.
out there into society? It goes back to
Yeah,
that whole societal norm, right? About
right,
trust, about monogamy, about
right.
kinks, about the whole like what is okay and what isn't okay. So at some
Yeah,
point, society put out there that like trust is a no go, whether you've been hurt or not, right?
yeah,
Like, so I feel like in the end, I we make those decisions either way, right? Like, we have to
yeah,
do what we're comfortable with and what we can live with when
yeah.
our
Meh,
the end comes, right? Like, and our book
right.
closes, and here we are at chapter 46 2 years later and looking at what we won't tolerate in real life versus what we would absolutely forgive in a fictional character, right?
Yeah,
Like what that is and what that isn't, and I think that that's an interesting thing to think about too, just because conversations that have happened over the last couple of months where, someone was very much you guys very much talk about what you want from a man. You say you want the man who will burn the world down. You want the man who won't stop pursuing you. You
right.
want the man who wants this. You want the man who wants that. You talk about the man who will live, breathe, and die for you. 100%. Those are all the things that I think many women want. But
Yeah,
you're also looking at that in a very black and white way and not looking at all those gray nuances, right?
yeah.
Where that is a very black and white definition to then add into the mix of, but then Steph wants that intimacy piece that looks like this,
Mm,
where Miss wants an intimacy piece that looks like this, and
right.
they're polar opposites, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
so, like, yeah, I want a man who's fucking obsessed with me, but also gives me space and lets me be independent, and I want somebody who absolutely would gouge the eyes out of someone who looks at me in that dress, but also wants to show me off in that dress at the same time because they don't want to hide me away from the world because they're
right,
proud of the fact that I'm their person, right? I
right,
spent 5 years with somebody who didn't want to introduce me to anyone in their life
right,
for whatever reason. I never got the reason why, right? Like, and his reasons are his reasons, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean it doesn't mess with my thought process,
right.
right? And so,
But it also helps narrow down what you will tolerate moving forward,
correct.
right?
Like,
Like
what is forgivable and what is
right.
not. And so, but then, like, again, right, looking at intimacy,
Yeah,
you want touchy feely cuddles, kiss on the forehead, like
but
whatever.
space at the same time. Like, I
Correct.
want choice and you to respect my choice and boundaries.
Correct. I don't wanna be touched at all
Yeah.
unless we are going to be having some fun, right?
Right.
Because my form of intimacy is conversation and vulnerability, and I wanna know the sides of you that nobody else knows,
Right.
that you're willing to open up with, and I find intimacy to be
And see, I think that's where I differ because I feel like that's an expectation. And maybe
but
that's
it's
some of the
not because
problem.
you don't openly open up though,
I
and you
don't.
don't
You have to
talk
get
about
it
those
out of
things,
me.
and
Yeah.
then that's not an expectation though, because if it was an
Yeah.
expectation, you would just automatically do it.
Yeah, no, I
So
don't
to me,
automatically do
that's
it.
part of intimacy.
I mean, it took
So
us in our friendship probably 2 years to finally for me to unravel,
correct,
right?
correct.
Because of
I think it took the world blowing up,
yes,
but
yes.
like,
No, that's fair. But and then looking at the consistency from you as a friendship just to a safe place to, like, break something down.
right,
Like, you know, because you were consistent and you were somewhat like, kinda what you just said about, "Well, I didn't have an expectation, like, I got this for" as an example, "I got this for you." There was no expectation, like right? So, like, that took years of our friendship to finally and maybe that's my own personal trauma and a whole different conversation, and we can go down that road in a different like, for both of us in a different episode, and why books bring that out in us, but I think that that's really important because you can only be burned for so many times at the fucking stake where then you're finally like, "I no longer want to be burned at the stake." So
no,
now you
fair,
have
like,
to prove it, right? Like,
right.
so no, I
But
agree.
but I'm just saying, like, again, definitions are different of
Yeah.
what intimacy is. I don't
Yeah.
find a physical connection to be intimate. I just find that to be physical and chemical,
Right.
right? Like,
Right.
chemistry is chemistry, and I can have that without intimacy,
Mhm.
right? Where I find conversation and openness and vulnerability more intimate. And I
Mhm.
find someone willing to be goofy and dance in the kitchen with me intimate because I'm not openly goofy with
Right.
my not people, right? Like I
Yeah.
have to be with my people to be
To be that
that
way.
side of myself.
Yes. Yeah.
Otherwise, you get the sorry, this is just what my face looks like, right? Like,
Right.
so I think that, like, so for me, that's my definition of intimacy.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, my ex was very much a touch was his love language, and like,
Mhm.
if I wasn't touching him, then that meant that I wasn't attracted to him, and that had nothing to do with it, right?
Right.
And, like, we had chemistry off the charts, and, like, it had nothing to do with that, but, like, for me, my head went, "If I constantly have to touch you to show you that I'm interested in you, then, like, why is it only about sex?" But, like, his brain was, "If you're not touching me, then you're not interested in me, and why don't you want me?" And, like, I
Right.
mean, those insecurities happen to men just as much as they happen to women, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yes, and I feel like we're less tolerable again, probably a whole whole 'nother subject, but, like, less tolerable of men's insecurities than we are of women's, right? And I
and
don't
men
think that's
have
fair.
them. Men have them,
Yes.
and
And
let's be fair, and
and if
when
we
your
were,
world
they tell
was
them more.
exploding,
Right.
right?
Right.
Your ex was trying to explain his insecurities in the process, right?
Yeah.
Like, "Hey, some of this was happening because of my insecurities."
Right.
Does it excuse it? No, but I don't think
No.
insecurities excuse poor choices on
No.
either
They j
side, right?
right.
Like,
Right. They're just the basis, right, of what like, if we get to the root of the problem, we need to delve there, right?
right,
Again, not, like you said, an excuse, it's just it is what it is.
right. I mean,
So,
I am an insecure person about many things, right? But that
yeah.
doesn't give me the right to walk into the room and be a dick to someone because they make me feel inferior
Right.
while I'm at work or while I am in an uncomfortable situation, or when I'm at like a PR event, or what,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, that's
No,
not
you're
an
right.
excuse for
Right.
me to be something different because I am uncomfortable and insecure, because I
Right.
don't want to be in new situations, or because I don't like change, which are all very true situations. Like,
But
I will
and
fake it till I make it,
yeah.
but
I
I
feel like that's why we fall in love with these characters in the books, right? Like, for lack of a better term, is because those men, like, want to see those insecurities, or other characters want to see those insecurities in the female main character turned around, like fighting it, or, like, because they have those inner dialogues with themselves and they're like, well, I just wish she could see how strong she is. How do I bridge that? Right. For paraphrasing, for lack of a better way to do that. But like, and I think that, like, I, for me at least, with my own insecurities, to have someone acknowledge it and not throw it back in my face, right? But want to, in their own way, and that is not, I don't think that that is their plight in life, right? But maybe that's that love and that factor, right? As they're navigating that love, whatever that is, to squash, or again, not their job, but like mute that insecurity, right? In that other person. And but vice versa. Like, I find myself doing that, but I guess maybe that's why I identify with those characters, right? Like, because then I also am trying to mute that in the person that I love, be it a friend, be it my boyfriend, be it my husband, whatever, right? Like, be it my children. Like, I want to mute those insecurities because I feel like they are the best thing in all of the world and have all the potential to do all of the things, and it pains me to see that. So I feel like in those books, when those men are seen, it pains them too, and that they're trying to navigate how to mute that in the person that they want, they're obsessed with, they're together with, whatever. And I think,
but I
right?
think that's where we like the literature, because
Yeah.
that's where it doesn't mimic real life, and it's not
Yeah.
messy like real life, because I
Yeah.
don't think, and I'm sure this is super unpopular opinion, and you're probably gonna be mad at me, and we're just gonna end this episode. Uh, that even speaking about your ex at this point, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't necessarily think that in a heated moment that the intention is to ever throw our partner's insecurities in their faces.
Right.
I think that that is when our insecurities are the highest, and so to try to level the playing field, for lack of a better term,
Yeah.
we try to find a way to ground it, right? And the
Yeah.
only way we can ground something, right,
Right.
is to try to,
Tear another person down?
but it's not even the tearing down piece, right? Because it happens when you're angry, so it comes across that way, right? But I think it's to level a playing field. So let's say it's between you and I, right? And I'm just gonna make up shit. So
Yeah.
please, people know that these are not
These are
current.
hypothetical.
These are not
This is
like,
not a real thing.
this is not a real, like, insecurity thing
Right.
happening,
We are
right?
safe zones.
We are
Yeah.
safe people right now. So let's say you and I are in, like, a really heated fight about scheduling, okay?
Sure.
And I feel that, um, I'm doing everything. I'm doing all of it. I'm doing everything. Like, I can't believe that you're doing absolutely nothing, because you're just a flake that just, like,
Right.
fucks off on your phone all the time,
Right.
right? So as I'm getting more and more upset and I feel like you are ignoring what I'm saying, right?
Mhm.
And again, think about the fact that for me, intimacy and communication are really important,
Right.
right? And again, like thinking of other Geminis in our lives where communication is super important. Like that's a Gemini thing. Like
It is a
communication is
Gemini
a
thing.
big deal, right?
Yeah.
And if we don't feel like we're being heard, we're going to
Right.
try other tactics until we feel like we're heard,
Yeah.
right? So at that point, I'm going to feel like I've said it 50 times, right? So
Right.
we're in the middle of this fight, and I have said it 50 fucking times that I am tired of doing this alone and that I can't handle this alone. And I feel like, yet again, you're ignoring me and you're just scrolling on your phone because this is not important to you.
Right.
Because that's perception. Because as we've talked the last couple weeks, especially about work related shit, perception is a big thing.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean that while you're on your phone, you're not looking up PR events, right? Like, that doesn't mean you're
Sure,
not
sure.
working.
Perception is
I
reality,
can't
right?
see that, right?
Right.
All I know is that while we're on this Zoom and I'm trying to get you to fucking help me, all I
Right.
see is you on your goddamn phone again, right?
Right.
So, and again, you're ignoring me and I'm so frustrated. And finally, I just spout off about the fact of, you know what? Now I understand why he fucking left you. Right?
Right.
Like, because he had to do it all by himself too. And, now it fucking makes sense. Right. And so, again, it's
Right.
not to tear you down, but it's
Right.
definitely the way to get your attention
Grab an attention. Yeah.
and have you listen. And,
Yeah.
and again, and it's not excusable in any way. That's probably one of the most hurtful things that someone can do is to
Right.
take your biggest to be somebody's safe space and take their insecurity and use it to
Yeah.
get their attention, right?
Yeah,
Because I
and I
don't
but I think that for me, like, because words are, I mean, I
you can't
ration
take
my
words back.
words. Right,
You
words
can't
are
take words back.
more potent than a dagger to the heart, a literal dagger to the heart. Like that, because once they're out there, they're out there. And for me, and I guess that's why I'm very tame on what I say, because to hurt another person's soul with words is something, because I have done that before, especially when I was younger. Like, is probably the hardest thing to come back to. And then someone in my life, for me, you only get so many chances with that. Like, and depending on where you are in that longevity of a friendship or a lover or whatever, you only get so many chances and then it's done. And I'm never going to tell you what happened, right?
Right.
Because words are more sacred and I don't say them a lot, right? Like I'm very like selective in what I say because of that reason, right? So yes, I think that it can be used as this grounding and bringing back, especially for someone with my personality type who doesn't say the words, right? And then you have the opposite person, right?
Mhm.
Who all says all the words all the time. And so
Words.
how do you find that balance? Because you don't, in the end, you both don't want to hurt each other, right?
Correct. And
So
and I think that
silence
that's
is
the
just as deadly at times as the words are
right,
just as
because
deadly.
I think too, right? Like
Yeah,
where your silence is, I'm just not gonna say anything because that's the safe place.
right.
That makes my brain
Mhm.
go worst case scenario. Like, I'm
Right.
gonna start, like, okay, well, then
Spiraling.
she's tapping out, she's finding
Right.
another partner, like, she's just looking to find a way to tell me, like, we're gonna end the show. She's like,
Not
like
happening, guys. But yes,
right, but,
yes.
like,
Yeah.
this is where,
Yes.
like, my brain's gonna start to go, right?
Mhm.
Because how I'm gonna overprocess and overthink and do all the, whatevers. And so, again, and not excusing the behavior. Like, hear me say that.
Right.
And I'm not excusing the behavior of the things that happened over the last couple of months with your ex, because there were things that happened that are unexcusable. Um,
Right.
and I think on both sides, and I've told that to both of you, like, you both made mistakes, and I think that happens in every relationship. Mistakes
Right.
happen.
It's not just one-sided. Like,
No,
let's, like,
no. Both people
be
fuck
it
up.
whatever, like,
Yeah,
be whatever the decisions needed to be done, they just weren't made, right?
right, right. Both people fuck up. Even if you just grow naturally apart, like,
Right.
people fuck up, it's natural.
Right.
But with that being said, right, I think that coming from that perspective, there
Mhm.
are people out there who do use those insecurities to be cruel, awful, and hateful. And coming from
Yes.
someone who was in a relationship at one point in time that was verbally and emotionally abusive, trust me, I would have rather had my ass handed to me on a daily basis to heal from than the emotional and verbal scars that came from that, right?
Right, because those are
But
harder to come back from.
because you cannot take words back. Like,
No.
those words ping pong in my head still to this day, and
Right.
it doesn't matter the amount of time that passes, and the oddest shit will trigger it to
Yeah.
be a memory of, like, something
Which
that happened, right?
Right, which is a
Now
whole 'nother podcast, triggers, right?
yeah,
Like, not just
and
trigger
so
warnings, but, like, how you discover them.
a and with that, like, I don't react the same to it anymore. Like,
Right.
I'm not gonna break down and cry, I'm not gonna, like, freeze, I'm not gonna go into fight or flight, but it doesn't mean it doesn't bring the memory back to the front of my brain where I can see it and hear it and the whole thing clearly, right?
Right.
I mean, like, could paint a picture for you like it's a goddamn movie of what happened in that instance when that, like, emotional manipulation was happening, or
Right.
when that tear down was happening, or when that insecurity was used against me, right?
Right.
There are those times.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are also times that I don't think people and there's probably people who disagree with me, right? But I don't think that
Sure.
there are times that people use it to be a tear down as
Right.
much as a, "This is an insecurity of yours, and
Right.
you're doing it right now." Like, this is something that you hyper fixate on and something that you say you wanna fix, but you're fucking doing it right now.
Yeah.
Look at yourself. Look
Yeah.
in the mirror. Take the time.
That self that self-discovery piece, which is very hard. But yes, I agree. Yeah.
Alright, so, are you ready?
No.
What's your favorite
Yeah.
part of the show, guys? But I feel like we've been talking for, like, an hour and a half with the
Yeah.
pause in the first part of the podcast
Please,
that
please message us. Please write on Instagram. We'd love to hear your take on any of this. We are navigating some new waters and yeah. And we're back. So,
you can definitely tell me to stick to the damn show notes and go back to recording at night when my brain is
we do
braining
have some
better.
fabulous artists coming on, or authors, artists as well, but like coming on
Right.
later on. So, I mean, we have some good lineups. I'm really excited about this new era for our Slow Burn podcast. Just
I
want to
know.
say. All
I
right, I'm
know.
ready. Gosh darn it. Let's do it.
So, for anybody who has never listened to before we let you go, I always try to end the night with a completely random, slightly unhinged question that you really can't possibly prepare for, especially Steph. So, always her
I'm a
favorite.
scripter.
This is my favorite use for AI, just so everybody knows, so that I also don't have time to prepare. So just, that way it's fair because it's not fair if I have time to prepare for the question and then like Steph doesn't. So that's my favorite
No
use for
time.
AI. I just prompted to come up with like,
Nerve
please give me
wracking.
the most like random slow burn final question you can come up with. And so this is
Here we
uh
are.
this is my friend's question for the day.
Can't wait.
If your life suddenly turned into a book, what genre would it start in? What genre would it end in? And which character would you immediately kill off?
Okay. I guess it would be just romance, right? I think that I don't know. I don't know. Romance? I don't know. I feel like I could take it and put dragons and werewolves in it and it'd be just fine for romantasy. I think romantasy. I think it would begin and end in romantasy only because the world is currently burning down right now.
100%.
And yeah, and
So we're pretty
I haven't found my
dystopian.
morally gray person yet, right?
Taking applications also.
Right. There's a few forerunners for sure, but like no one that's really like sprinted out, right? To
Also, Gabriel
give me the
Michael,
match.
Anthony Palmini could totally just like narrate my life.
Oh yeah.
Also would allow that. Just
Yeah.
walk
I
around
mean,
behind me and be like, and she poured her coffee.
yeah. I would
Like
love someone to do my inner dialogue, kind of like what we were just talking about not sharing. I would love it if someone could do my inner monologue. And I don't know per se if I have someone that I would just kill off.
Corvin King is another good one.
Ooh.
Anyway, sorry. Sexy
Yeah.
voices are on my mind right now.
I
So,
want to know some
um,
female sexy voices. I don't know. I like, are there any? And how can we get there if they're not? Misty.
uh, that's for a later episode. I don't know if
I'm
we're
just
allowed to talk
saying.
about that yet.
But I would
So
like a female sexy voice narrating my inner thoughts because one, it would totally help my life story.
would it be Flemmy? Um,
Maybe. Sexy
maybe
phlegm. Friends.
sexy Flem.
Uh,
Um,
Phoebe. I don't know.
I
I think that would be helpful. And I feel like maybe not completely destroying one person, but definitely burning the whole world down that involves that person so I can rebuild. But I haven't found my morally gray character to hand me the match. And I need them to hand me the match, not do it for me. But go ahead. Your turn.
I feel like God, I feel like I'm like in such this weird like evolutionary self-discovery phase right now. I don't
Truth.
know where it came from. Like I feel like it's 40s and
The
here we are.
universe said, here you go.
Yeah.
Here you
They
go.
were like, it's just getting worser. And yes, I
It's
know it's
getting
not a
worse.
word, but I'm gonna keep using it because it's my favorite. I also feel like we're gonna throw a little like paranormal in there because
Oh,
we're
yes.
we're with the cards, so we like the tarot, we
We
like
are.
things.
Yeah, it's
We like
true.
to we like to look at the zodiac a little. We like the moon
It's
phases,
important.
so we'll
Mhm.
throw some of that in there, a little kitchen witch. So I think, you have a little piece of the simple paranormal in there. Um,
Yeah.
because my essential oils and like I said, a
Oh,
little
the
kitchen witch going on. Uh Also have not found my morally gray man that can also outlast the happily ever after and not need therapy. Um
on both
Such a
sides?
good question. Um, I I mean, I think everybody could benefit from therapy. I
Agreed.
just haven't found a therapist that I like. So anyway, right now, you and C are my therapists, and maybe Wellesley here, who's finally fell asleep. And so there's that. I think part of me in my brain says the character I would immediately kill off would be the one who delivered the most abuse.
Uh,
Um, but on that list of people, because there are multiple, I don't know who would be at the top of that list. And then I wonder if that, like, just provides, like, character development of who I've become, and do you
right,
kill them off? Or do you just let them live with what karma gives them,
right.
right? Like, I don't know if I'm a kill somebody off person, like, I dislike don't get me wrong, I love books where the FMC is ready to just chop a head off and just,
Absolutely. Right.
like, go badass and just, like, tear the world down. But I definitely would like somebody who just stands next to me and watches the world that I burn, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the world I create. Maybe I don't need to burn it. Maybe I just need to create it.
Recreate it.
Yeah.
Mhm. I
So,
like that.
but I also think that my life is kind of a comedy of errors. So I think in the end, I'm like a paranormal rom-com. Is that a thing? With
Yes.
the banter and
I feel like it could be.
the banter and the line dancing with the random drunk girls.
That was amazing.
This is great. I didn't fall. So, yeah. So that's it. I think I'm
I
a
like it.
paranormal rom-com.
I like it.
I am looking forward to building my world, whether it's independently, as I have been, or with my villain, because sometimes the villain is the hero, guys. Like,
That is a true statement.
sometimes the villain is the hero. And sometimes we are the villain, right? And
Yeah.
I'm okay being the villain in someone else's
Right.
story.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, I'm okay being the villain in someone else's story because someone else is the villain in mine, right? So, and they didn't ask to be that for me.
Nope.
And so, like, I'm sure I've done things to someone else that makes them lose sleep, whether it was intentionally or not. So, like, that's where we are.
Yeah.
And I'm probably somebody's first person to kill off in their narrative, right?
Right.
Like, so
It's
here we are.
balance. It's
Yep.
okay.
I'm all about balance. That's part of that.
Same.
That's part of that witchy kitchen witch thing,
That's
right?
right.
It's all about balance.
Right. We have to have
So,
it.
as that is, that's our spiral for today, guys. So, thank you for hanging out with us, for letting the conversation wander and wander and wander, and for sitting in the messy, complicated, beautiful parts of storytelling with us. Because the truth is, the story doesn't really end at the end, it just
No.
keeps unfolding in ways we don't always see coming. So, if today's conversation got you thinking, we'd love to hear from you. Come find us. Tell us what books you're reading, what characters you're still thinking about long after the last page, because I can tell you I'm still in love with Vicious from Black Dagger Brotherhood forever until I die, and what happily ever after looks like to you. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep chasing the stories that make you feel something. This is Slow Burn, where we go deep, move slow, and let the fire speak. We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.